Our airline was Etihad Airways. Our flight from Naiya was 11:40 p.m. May 22 PH time, and it was around an 8-hour, 50-minute flight to Abu Dhabi. We arrived at 4:30 a.m. of May 23, Abu Dhabi time, and had a 5-hour layover. Stage 4. Since it was around 4 a.m., most shops were closed, and all we did was find a spot, freshen up, and waited for our next flight. Cruz and I were so happy because we were able to finish all levels of Angry Birds before the end of this flight. We left at 9:30 a.m. and arrived at Istanbul airport at 1:10 p.m. Turkish time. By the way, the correct pronunciation and spelling of the country is Türkiye. It was already called the name since 1923. It was only the English who called it Turkey, and it was the name adapted by the rest of the world. In 2021, the Turkish government no longer wanted to be referred to as Turkey by the rest of the world, so they preferred we use the right pronunciation.
We're finally here at Istanbul! On our way to get our baggage and immigration, so good luck to us.
We just arrived at Istanbul airport and we plan to buy a SIM card, an eSIM for our internet and mobile number. For those who don't know, Istanbul is part Europe and part Asia. There are 2 airports in Istanbul. The most common and bigger one is Istanbul Airport, or IST, on the European side. This is where we landed. The smaller one is Sabiha Gökçen Airport, or SAO, and this is on the Asian side. We took a cab to our hostel and it took us around 45 minutes, which cost us 636 Turkish lira or around 1,500 pesos. This was around May and the weather was great. Not too hot to walk around, yet not too rainy or gloomy either. This is the Bosphorus. It's a narrow channel or strait that divides the European and Asian part of Turkey. It's connecting the Black Sea to the Sea of Marmara.
We are near
all food this year.
Oh my gosh! Our place is the perfect place because it's near food.
Wow, the roads are narrow.
Feels so perfect.
She's so hungry. I'm hungry too.
Yeah.
This is Dennis, the hostel's dog. We paid 37.80 euro each or around 2,500 pesos for 3 days, 2 nights on our first stay. We stayed on a shared room and restrooms and shower area is also shared. We had dinner at Siva restaurant. It was just walking distance from where we stayed. Regular meal prices range from 200 to 400 lira or around 500 to 1,000 pesos. I noticed that food here is more expensive than accommodations. Our hostel was located at Sultanahmet area, near several tourist spots, so it was just walking distance to the places we had to go to. By the way, currency here is either lira, euro, or US dollar. You need to have cash because there are still a lot of shops that don't accept credit card. After dinner, we headed back to the hostel to work a bit.
This is the rooftop of our hostel.
The dining area where we eat our breakfast, which is already included on our room rate. After around an hour, we headed out again because the sun was still up. It only started to go dark at around 9 p.m. We scouted the area on our first night An arasta is a series of shops built beneath or near a mosque. In this case, the Blue Mosque. Rent from the shops provides money for the maintenance and repair of the mosque.
This is legit baklava from Turkey.
We went to Sultanahmet Park, which was just a 5-minute walk. There are specific schedules to go inside the mosques, so we weren't able to go there tonight. Before heading back to the hostel, we went to a small cafe nearby. It's called Arab's Cafe, and we had karak tea. It's a creamy spiced tea and it was good. It's similar to the tetarek tea of Singapore or Malaysia. The owner was also so kind. It was our first night in Istanbul and we weren't able to have our money changed to lira yet. So we only had our credit cards and we thought that we could pay with it. But unfortunately, the shop didn't have a terminal. He said it's okay, we can just go back and pay the next day. Which of course we did. After a hearty breakfast buffet, we walked around the area and to the Grand Bazaar, where we had some Turkish lira changed. Legit Turkish shawarma.
Bazaar! Papasok na kami, guys.
The Grand Bazaar is one of the largest and oldest covered markets in the world. You can see so many shops and alleys in here. Even if you don't buy anything, you'll still really appreciate the place with its architecture and you'll get to explore alleys built during the Ottoman Empire.
Bazaar!
I love looking at all the items in here, the different colors, patterns, fabric, textiles, trinkets, carpets, and all the different kinds of sweets. They're all so tempting, but we decided not to buy any souvenirs until our last day, since we'll be going through local flights in the next couple of days and don't want to add weight on our baggage. There are many forex kiosks here and prices are posted outside, so you can compare and check what's best for you. Just next to the Grand Bazaar is the Nur Osmania Mosque, which literally means the light of Osman. The mosque has 174 windows, allowing enough light inside. Interior of the mosque's dome is decorated with verse of light from the Quran. Different from the other Ottoman mosques, the crescents on top of the minarets of the mosque are made from stone instead of bronze. We got kinda hungry at this time, so we decided to eat durum or donors and fresh pomegranate juice. I love how they made the juice. You'll see that it is so pure and they fill up the whole cup with the fruit without adding anything, not even water or ice. The donor and juice is 60 lira each, around 180 pesos, and it tasted really good.
But it stays in Turkey. Chicken and fries and tomatoes and dip. Super good.
These are Turkish delights. You'll see them a lot around the area, especially in the Grand Bazaar, and they have so many different flavors and colors. On our way back at Sultanahmet Square, you can see the Serpent Column. It's one of the 3 remaining monuments of the Hippodrome of Constantinople. It now stands halfway between the obelisk of Theodosius and the Masonry obelisk. This is the Blue Mosque or the Sultanahmet Mosque. We weren't able to enter at this time because a prayer is about to start. That call you hear is the calling of worshippers to pray, also known as Azan. This happens 5 times a day. Their restrooms here are called WC, which stands for water closet. This is the term commonly used by a lot of European countries. Here we are now entering the Hagia Sophia. It's really a great architectural beauty and an important monument for Byzantine and for Ottoman empires. Before entering the mosques, you need to remove your shoes. There are shelves you can place them in outside. Women need to wear hijabs. We use the scarf, but if you don't have one, some mosques may lend you or you can buy on the nearby shops. We then got some ice cream, and as you can see, it's served in a very entertaining way. After some ice cream, we still had a few hours before we could go to the Blue Mosque. So we headed to the Harem Sultan Hamami for a traditional Turkish spa treatment called hammam. Basically, you'll be completely naked and someone will be bathing you and giving you a good bubbly full body massage and scrub after. They offer this at different places around Türkiye, but we opted to try it here at the Harem Sultan Hamami for the more traditional experience. The inside of the bathhouses were really nice. Here are some photos of how it looked like inside. I love that the place was very historical too. It's standing where the ancient public baths of Xixupus used to be. The current bathhouse was built in the 16th century on the orders of the empire's most powerful woman, Hurrem Sultan. After, they served us dessert and Ottoman sherbet, which contains various fruits, spices, and herbs, and remained as one of the traditional healing drinks. It was prepared for us to cool down and balance blood sugar. The other drink was Turkish tea. This is the main lobby area. Behind those cubicles you see are lockers, changing areas, and powder rooms. After the relaxing treatment, we headed back to the Blue Mosque. This breathtaking building is one of the most majestic Ottoman mosques in all of Türkiye. It is dubbed the Blue Mosque because of over 20,000 handmade ceramic Iznik tiles that decorate the interior, featuring many different tulips, roses, carnation, and lily designs, well lit by 260 windows. The structure and design of this mosque, just like the Hagia Sophia, is really breathtaking and worth staring at. Admiring its beauty, every detail and effort put into creating these magnificent structures. This is the Yerebatan or Basilica Cistern entrance. We weren't able to go today, so we just thought of coming back later. Dinner time! I like how in all places we've been to, they always serve Turkish tea this way, in a cute traditional tulip-shaped glass called injibeli. next day, we checked out around 2 a.m. and headed to the Sao airport. Our taxi fare was 600 Turkish lira or around 1,800 pesos. Our flight was 5 a.m. from Istanbul to Nevşehir. The flight took only an hour and 10 minutes and it cost us 1,849 Turkish lira or around 2,700 pesos. We were on our way to Cappadocia. Once we landed, we took a shuttle to our hotel that cost us 90 Turkish lira or around 270 pesos. Here you can see the beautiful rock architecture and structures and cave houses. We arrived around 7 a.m. It wasn't our check-in time yet, so we explored the place. Our hotel cost us 301.59 euros or around 9,000 pesos each. This is for 5 days and 4 nights. It was so quiet and peaceful. Our hotel had 2 rooftops and this is the view. The hotel was also kind enough to give us breakfast for free while waiting. Since it was still early after breakfast, we headed out to the main area, strolled around and explored the place. Again, the main town area was just walking distance from our hotel. And then we headed back to the hotel to check in. After resting and freshening up, we went back to town. Made some tour reservations for the next couple of days, looked at some souvenirs, then ate dinner. The next day, we woke up early and we were picked up by our shuttle going to the hot air balloon place. I suggest you get at least 4 nights in Cappadocia, especially if you want to see or try out the hot air balloons, because it only happens in the morning and only when the weather is good. I suggest you schedule it immediately the next day of your arrival because it may get cancelled or rescheduled due to the weather. And it's a good thing we did because on the last 2 days we were in Cappadocia, it started to rain a bit, so the hot air balloons were cancelled. It starts around 5 a.m. and ends at around 6:30 or 7.
Turn your face opposite direction and hold the black handles inside of the basket. This one. Dıştakilere bir gösterelim.
Ano? Take off na sila.
It was a very, very breathtaking view from the balloon. you can see the beautiful sunrise and horizon. We were at around 760 meters above the ground. We landed on a field and they gave us non-alcoholic sparkling drinks and our flight certificate. We were then brought back to our hotel. We then ate our breakfast and around 9 a.m. our tour guide picked us up at our hotel for the green tour. Our tour guide's name was Emre. The green tour covers the southern part of Cappadocia region with 4 different cities. The first stop was the Göreme Panoramic Viewpoint.
Alright, what you're looking at is a 13-million-year-old area.
Those pointed rock formation you see are called fairy chimneys. These were emerged due to a geological process that began millions of years ago. Ancient volcanic eruptions blanketed the region in thick ash, which later solidified into a soft rock. Only the harder elements were left behind to form these fairy chimneys. Next stop was the Uchisar Castle. We didn't go to the top of the castle because you had to hike the way up, but we still got to appreciate the breathtaking panoramic views of the surrounding towns, valleys, and magical fairy chimneys. Then we went to a leather fashion show where they were showcasing quality, stylish, and fashionable leather designs. They even let us try on their coats and walk in the runway with them. This store creates original designs. These coats are quite expensive but good quality. Next was the Lavanta Panorama Cafe where we enjoyed this panoramic view. Then we had lunch at Chef Kebab Restaurant. After a great meal, we headed to Pasabag Valley.
Separate like the others, but the lower part is almost at the edge of
collapsing.
Good thing we ate because it was quite a trek through the valley. Again, you can see a lot of cave dwellings and fairy chimneys, but this time up close. Zelve Open Air Museum was the next stop. It is an open valley with a large cave settlement. The small area has 15 Byzantine-era cave churches and remained a Turkish village until 1960. We then went to Devrent Valley, also known as the Imagination Valley. It got its name because of the rock formations and that you can depict different kinds of objects and animals with these. It really depends on your imagination. Like this one, for me, looks like a snail. Here at Aldag Ceramic, Avanos Potty Workshop, we learned how they handmade these very intricate and amazing plates, jars, and ceramics.
So here guys, for making ceramic and pottery, we have two types of the clay. As you can see that in here, white one and red one. White one is coming from volcanic mountains and the red one is coming from the Red River.
After a long day, we got back at the hotel around 5 p.m. We rested a bit and then headed out again for dinner, this time at the old Cappadocia cafe and restaurant. The next day, we woke up early again, but this time to view the hot air balloons from the roof of our hostel. After breakfast, we were picked up at our hostel again and we had a red tour with a different tour guide. First stop was the same as the green tour, the Goreme Panoramic Viewpoint. But this time, we had more time to go around the place. Next stop was the Hanem Art Center. Kababayan, during our whole stay in Türkiye, we only saw 2 Filipinos. It was a jewelry shop that had several types of jewelry and rocks. One of them is the Zultanite, which is a mineral that changes color on different light sources and has only been found in the Anatolian mountains of Turkey.
The 50% natural is more visible in color. The 100% natural is a little bit so hard to change color.
Turkey is not allowed to export this stone. It's very special to them, so you cannot find it anywhere.
Next was the Derinkuyu underground city.
We will jump in one by one. I will open the case. Ladies first. Fresh water first, and then fresh air. Without these two, you can't last long.
It's the largest of its kind and can house 20,000 people. It's up to 18 stories and 260 feet deep. Not very good for people who are claustrophobic. The locals for millennia have dug their own holes in the soft stone for underground dwellings, storage rooms, temples, and refuges. There were several rooms and the in-between spaces were used as wine press, domestic animals, convents, and small churches. It served as a temporary refuge for when the region experienced extreme seasons. Also a safe space during wars. Yay! Then we headed to Bellissima village in Ihlara Valley. Before we ate our lunch here, we went to the Ala Church. On our trek to the restaurant by the stream, half of our group actually got lost. This is us trying to find our way. We were all tourists and had no local number and cellular signal was weak. We were glad that the rest eventually found us in which felt like an hour. On our way to Lake Nar, we stopped over to check out this view. this scenery actually shown in The Hobbit. This is our group's photo. This is our tour guide. After the tour, we still had a lot of time, so we went coffee shop hopping and explored the rest of the town. The next day, we were hoping to get photo shoots with the long dress and the hot air balloon background, but unfortunately, the hot air balloon flights were cancelled due to the gloomy weather. We walked around the town area again, then took the Cappadocia Jeep Safari in the afternoon till sunset. This pottery kebab actually tasted like our local afritada. It was good though, the meat was really soft. Then we went to carpet shops and did some photo shoots. During our Jeep Safari tour, we had several stops and one of them was the Salinkat Cafe. Here we had some Turkish coffee and hot chocolate. And then we went around the Love Valley. After our drive around the valley, we were given some non-alcoholic sparkling juice. We headed back to Istanbul today. Our flight was early at 7:10 a.m. and it was a 1-hour, 20-minute flight back. We had to go back to Istanbul in order to go to Pamukkale because unfortunately there aren't any direct flights from Nevşehir to Denizli and vice versa. We stayed at the airport the whole day. That was our only option for flight times and it wasn't a waste at all because we took that time to work and rest. Our flight to Denizli was 5:30 p.m. and we arrived at around 6:30. We then took a private shuttle to our hotel. Our flight cost us 999 Turkish lira or around 1,500 pesos. Our shuttle to the hotel was 10 euros each or around 700 pesos. Today, we plan to go paragliding.
Nakabahan na ako.
Ano masasabi mo?
Nakabahan na ako.
What are your last words?
I love you, Ruiz.
We were picked up at our hotel, but unfortunately, it was so foggy, so our pilot suggested we come back at around noon. headed back to the hotel to eat breakfast, then went to the Pamukkale South Gate entrance. We walked towards the travertines of Pamukkale. In Turkish, Pamukkale stands for Cotton Castle. Unfortunately, the actual site no longer looked like this. Several pools have already dried up, but it was still a wonder to see. We walked around and took a dip. We had to watch our step because it was quite slippery. Then headed to the Hierapolis Museum. Then we walked to the antique pool or Cleopatra's Pool. This is where the Queen of Egypt used to swim. Walking up, we arrived at the Hierapolis Theater. The theater at the Hierapolis was built in the 2nd century AD under the Roman Empire Hadrian. The theater has some of the best preserved decorative features of any theater in Turkey. Aside from that, there were many ruin sites in the area. After that, we headed back to the hotel, then were picked up for the second time for our paragliding experience. Fortunately, the fog subsided and we were able to fly. It was so fun and the view was really nice. The white thing you see below are the travertines that we visited earlier. Before we landed, our pilots let us feel a little bit of adrenaline by gliding excessively in different directions. It was a fun experience though.
How was it?
Good!
Nice.
I survived!
Landing time is very easy.
Okay.
Then I say stand up, okay?
Okay.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it. I have tears in my eyes.
Walk please. Finish.
Thank you.
Very good. Bye-bye, thank you.
After paragliding, we headed back to the hotel and thought of going for a spa. We stayed in Pamukkale for just a day. It's really a small place, so one day is enough. We relaxed and had massages, steam baths, sauna, and swam in the pool. At that night at 7 p.m. was our flight back to Istanbul. Again, it was just an hour flight, so we arrived at 8:15. We checked in on the same hostel back in Istanbul but got a different room. This time we didn't get the shared one. Today, we again walked around the area and went to the places we didn't go to on our first few days. We went to the Basilica Cistern. It is the largest underground cistern of Byzantine Constantinople. It was built under the basilica located near the Hagia Sophia, also known by its Turkish name Yerebatan Serai, or Sunken Palace.
Wala kaming dala paglabas namin. Tignan nyo, may dala tong madaming.
Then, we walked towards several more places, bought souvenirs, explored cafes and restaurants. Then, at night, we went to the Bosphorus cruise. A bus picked us up from our hotel and then we headed to the docks. We had dinner, entertainment, dancing, and so much fun. On our last day, we walked around the area. There are really a lot of places you could go to. Finalized everything for our way back home.